Portland firefighters are concerned there could be more fires like this as the weather turns colder. Just on Sunday, neighbors near Southeast 28th and Powell say this fire sent flames 50 feet into the air. Firefighters posted these photos on Twitter saying it took 84 crew members to get it under control. They're still investigating the official cause, but say they have received several reports that people experiencing homelessness were living inside that building. Last week, another fire sparked at a camp on the corner of the busy intersection at Northeast 100th and Halsey. And last winter, one fire was deadly when it burned a tent with 2 people inside. There was a candle burning inside that tent, we're told. Fox 12's Marilyn Deutsch reports on what Portland Fire and Rescue is doing to try to keep everyone safe.
For Portland Fire, fires at houseless camps are a life safety issue, concern for the houseless themselves and for the rest of us as well. Authorities say a fire earlier this month in the Gateway area of Northeast Portland started in a homeless camp, the camp bursting into flames. Fortunately, everyone got out alive. And while the fire did not spread to neighboring medical offices or homes, one neighbor did take out a yard hose to protect his house before firefighters arrived. In the last year, there have been roughly 2,000 fires related to the homeless camps and more than 140 fires related to the houseless living in cars or other vehicles. At one point last winter, when it got seriously freezing cold, Portland Fire responded to about 10 tent and campfires a day. The uptick due to the humanitarian crisis we are seeing here on the streets of Portland, amplified by the COVID-19 pandemic. And as we approach winter temperatures, fire officials worry that more people may use open flames in their tents to keep the cold at bay.
When the temperatures drop, that people are going to use different methods to warm up.
And that is when things get dangerous, as with that deadly tent fire that killed 2 people last year. As with some 240 campfires related to the houseless this past year that damaged terrain or structures.
For us, it's about making sure that if you are using fire to warm, that you do it in a safe manner. For us, it's important that you don't obviously burn inside of anything, a tent, an RV, any encampment.
The best thing to do, says Portland Fire's Terry Foster, keep the fire in a metal container at least 25 feet away from anything that might be flammable, whether that's a tent or trash.
Not use candles for warmth inside. That's a big mistake and oftentimes causes fires. And keep it away from combustibles. You know, oftentimes it's as simple as a fire can tips over and it's so close to a structure, a fence, a building, anything that could catch fire.
Portland Fire says if you use fire for light, for cooking, or for warmth, do so safely. Every winter, different groups give out coats, hats, hand warmers, all sorts of winter supplies to keep the houseless warm, or at least warmer. Last year, Blanchet House also gave out lanterns to provide some light and maybe a tiny bit of warmth, too. They hope to do that again this year. We're no longer in the hot, dry fire season when a tossed cigarette can easily spark a fire. But fires for the houseless in the cold, wet season can also be a matter of life and death. If you're too cold, you can suffer hypothermia and freeze to death. But warming up by an open fire can turn deadly, too.
You can have a fire to stay warm. You can have a warming fire. We just ask that you do it in a safe way.
Portland Fire is working with groups like Street Roots, giving out cards to the houseless, reminding them never to use candles or any open flames in their tents. In North Portland, Marilyn Deutsch, Fox 12 Oregon.
And these are some of those cards that Marilyn mentioned, reminding people to keep fire safety in mind as they try to stay warm or cook a meal.